Dr. Ruby Bakshi Khurdi. I would like to warm welcome all of you on my Ed Web Studio channel online platform. My platform is nothing but an online small venture which caters to education sector for the recruitments, trainings, branding and PR and lot more. And yes, the platform is online, so everything is virtual. Nobody has to walk physically anywhere. Looking into the kind of scenarios going forward, the COVID cases increase in the COVID cases, and yes, looking into the kind of factors that because of the lockdown, we could collaborate across the globe. So this online venture gives you more perspective, the vast perspective to join people and collaborate with them across the globe, and let's learn from each other. So today we have Dr. Ruby Bakshi. I think she doesn't need a much of introduction. Everybody knows she is a senior educator. She is a TEDx speaker and a wonderful soul. She is a World Peace Ambassador as well, and a multi-awardee person. So let's start our inspirational journey talk with Dr. Ruby Bakshi. So yes, Dr. Ruby, how are you feeling today? First of all, let me just ask you.
First of all, namaskar everyone. It's really an honor to be on Rabia's platform. I admire this lady a lot. She's been doing some amazing work over COVID, and I just love the energy with which she's all the time enthusiastic and coming forward with such amazing ventures all the time. So, thank you so much for inviting me here.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you so much for beautiful, beautiful appreciation. Thanks once again. Hanji, so Dr. Doc, how was your day? Let me just ask first question. How was your day today?
Yes, the day was quite eventful. I had a session in the morning. I was giving a training session in the morning on emotional intelligence.
Oh,
So it was very overwhelming with some women. So I was really enjoying the session. And then being Tuesday, Mangal, so Sabhi Mangal hoga. I believe
wow,
that.
wow, wow.
So yes, that the day started very well with this webinar, and thereafter then with home preparing stuff in the house, and then looking forward for your show. So it was very overwhelming since the morning.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, Dr. Ruby, before we start with the two, three questions which I have shared with you, I mean, which I have in my mind actually, I would like
Uh-huh.
to understand, staying in Singapore, do you still believe in this Mangal Shani? Kitna believe karte ho? And I mean, thoda sa if you could brief us, why do you believe in that? It would be of great, something new to hear from you at least.
I can see Rabia is very excited today because she is all the time telling me I'm from Singapore, even though I'm from Switzerland.
Okay, Switzerland, my God. I mixed two countries, my God,
I can see the
my,
excitement, Rabia.
my mistake, my mistake. Yes.
No, it's not a mistake. I know. Like these days, we are collaborating and we are connecting with so many people. So it's really as you were saying, COVID has been a blessing in disguise in a lot of ways that we got connected to so many people. Switzerland, Singapore, India, Dubai. It looks like as if we are just all connected so much together. It doesn't matter where you are. The thing is that we are connected and we are doing things beautifully in
That's
supporting each other. That's very important.
that's very important. Yes, yes.
So yeah, to answer your question, yes, even though I have been living in Switzerland for last so many years, I'm a core Indian. I follow all the traditions to the heart, and I make sure that we do observe Mangal, Shani, Shivratri, then Navratri, all the Ratris very well. We do celebrate all the festivals with same fervor as we would be
Wow.
doing in India.
Yeah.
Because
Wow.
I think as a woman or as a mom, I think it's more important because our kids should know, because if we don't tell them, if we will not be telling them about the cultures, about the rich Indian traditions, they will not know and they will not be able
Yes.
to appreciate it. Yeah, so I think it's
Right.
important, no matter wherever you live, whichever part of the world you live, people should always be close to their culture and they should carry their culture wherever they go with them. And of course, integrate with the culture of the foreign country as well, because that's very
Uh,
important.
that's very important. Rightly said that they should be. I mean, they should integrate with the cultures of other countries as well. Very important, actually. And you mentioned that you are staying in the beautiful, beautiful Switzerland. So I am sure कि आपका वापस आने को मन भी नहीं करता होगा. It's Switzerland, so nobody would like to come back actually. But have you ever made any plans to come to Delhi or to come to India, come back and settle down in India? Any such plans going forward or anything in your mind? Just small question out of your a talk actually.
See, it's true. Switzerland is beautiful. It's like Kashmir. Kashmir is
Yeah,
known as Switzerland of India.
Switzerland.
So yes, I love India and I love Switzerland. I always say that India is my Janma Bhumi and Switzerland is my Karma Bhumi because I started my career, started going in a different direction when I moved here. I was very young when I came here. So yes, I love this place very much. And if need be, agar Bhagwan ne chaha, some fine day, you never know kal kya ho, kal kisne dekha hai. But
Agreed.
if there is any possibility or if there is any call from India, of course I would love to come back to India.
Wow, wow. We would be more than happy, in fact, to meet you. It would be seriously. All right. So, coming to the first question, you mentioned that you started your career as an educator, I guess.
Mhm.
So, what motivated you to become an educator?
I think teacher, we are always a teacher, no matter, as a kid also, each one of us has that teaching ability. But then some people, they take it as their career. Some lucky people are able to live that career. And I think I was one of them. I think when I was very young, I would always teach my grandparents, with a scale in my hand. I would
Wow.
dirty all the walls in the house by teaching them ABCD because I used to think that why are they at home? It never occurred to me as a young kid, as a small kid, that they are enjoying their retirement. So I said, like, if you want to become something in life, if you want to be successful, you have to study, you have to educate yourself.
You have to study. Strict mother. Oh my God.
So yes, I always wanted to be a teacher even as a young kid, and God willing, I was able to do that. I was able to follow that career, despite the fact in our family we don't have any teacher.
Wow.
I come from a Kashmiri Pandit family, so it's a family of engineers and doctors and pharmacians, anyone,
Yeah.
everyone related to these two main domains.
Domains.
So yeah, so when I did my MBA, I always wanted to go in the education sector, and some people were like, really, after doing an MBA
MBA.
and being in
Yeah.
the top students from your college, do you think you would want to go in education? It's not so well paid.
Agree.
And I just listened to them. I did not make any decision. I just listened to them and I was like, let's see. And I was very fortunate. I was able to get in my campus placement in Colgate Palmolive. That was my first job in Colgate. But again, as it
Okay.
was destined, I did not take that organization. I did not go for it. I chose to teach. So I started teaching in Lucknow, where I come from, and I was very very happy that I got to teach at that time of at that time I taught students in Fashion Institute. It's called Delhi College of Fashion, IIFT, International
Oh.
Institute of Fashion Technology in Delhi.
Wow.
So that was the beginning, and I was teaching in the college at that time, Mahanagar Girls Inter College. So these were my two core institutes, I would say, that I started my career with, and it was so good. I really loved it because after joining this college, I became the principal of the college. I was the youngest principal,
Wow.
even though I had not done my PhD at that time, but because I enforced some ideas, I gave some valuable inputs how they can make that college more impressive. So within, I think, after 2 months of joining as a lecturer, they appointed me as the principal of that college. So I had a small innings to be the principal, almost, I would say, roughly 10 months of a college, and then I got married.
Oh. Another journey started.
Yes, yes. So journey started there with teaching career, with education, and when I came to Switzerland, I think teaching was already, like, destined that I'm going to be in this domain because my short innings as a principal of an all girls college, which is a big college now, it's much much bigger now. It's called Loyola International in Lucknow. So I think that helped me. That was like a benchmark that gave me the push to join another very illustrious boarding school here in Switzerland as a lecturer. Again, it was very similar to what happened back there. I joined here as a lecturer, and just after, I would say, 6 months, roughly 6 months, I was appointed as the academic dean.
Oh my
So,
God.
so my journey was very, I would say, eventful, and
Eventful.
yeah, eventful. And of course, I had really good support of the people with whom I
And
was
full of
working.
achievements, I would rather say full of achievements, one after the other achievement. Joining a college, becoming a principal, then getting married, another achievement in your life that you got married, and then another achievement shifted to Switzerland. Then, wow, so landed Lucknow to land Switzerland. What a complete difference! What a huge achievement actually, and that's a wonderful place to be landed on. So great achievements, Dr. Ruby. Once again, I mean, it was such a beautiful, inspirational journey, to be honest. So, coming to the next question. Now, I mean, I'm sure you would be attached to your students um, a lot actually. And this lockdown and physical teaching, online teaching, uh, absolutely, there's a huge difference if I'm not wrong. I would like
Mhm.
to hear from you. Did you face any challenges while coping up with the online teaching in this lockdown? And how did you cope up? How did your students switched over to online teaching mode? How did they adapt to it? And what were their, how did you actually faced the mood swing? How did you face the mood swings of the students and face mood swings of their parents, even because even parents were not in that state of mind where they could
Very
adapt,
true.
accept these things very happily.
Hmm.
So we would like to hear from you. What were the old challenges? How did your journey went on and still going on actually during this kind of online teaching mode? So how did you shift to online teaching? That is
The
the most
shift was
important.
not very eventful, of course, because it was very confusing, like anyone and everyone in the world. 2020 March was really very, I would say, like a big challenge, and like a, shaking up of what are we doing and what we are supposed to do, that kind of a thing. So yes, it was not very smooth in the beginning because everyone was confused. Are we going to have classes? Are the schools going to close down? What is happening? So there was a lot of confusion, a lot of stress and fear. You know,
Yeah,
fear was the main concern because everyone was kind of in a state of shock. What is going to
right.
happen? Because the whole world was experimenting it. So it was very, I would say, troublesome for everyone. So in the beginning, yes, it was very confusing. And my children were at home because their schools got closed down. But I, being in the higher education, our college was a little bit more proactive. They immediately switched to the virtual learning environment.
Okay.
So even though we switched, but they made sure that the teachers were trained. All the professors, we got training how to use Zoom, how to use
Right.
different platforms. And of course, we had been using blended learning in the past as well.
Okay.
But the fact that it became necessity, it became a compulsion that everyone is supposed to use the platform. So it was made sure that our curriculum was revised as well, because all the things were more for face to face classrooms, right? So when it became like that, for some of the people, it was not easy. Even for me, even though my classes are fun, very exciting because I use a lot of gamification. But then I had to switch completely for using virtual learning platforms, even for gamification. The things that I would be doing with Lego. Let's say I use a lot
Right.
of Legos in the class. I use a lot of those, the Maggie thing, the which Maggie, the dry Maggie,
Right.
or
Try
the,
magic. Right.
yeah, so dry vermicelli. These kind of things I use a lot in my classrooms.
Okay.
When I'm teaching leadership lessons or when I'm teaching HR. So I use Lego
Okay.
for teaching team building. But then it was not feasible in online platform.
All
So our college teachers made sure that we are getting the right kind of education, right kind of training as teachers, and we are not having that fear, and we were ready to be authentic. We didn't have to show off to the students that we are fully equipped. So it was a
right.
learning experience. It was a learning experience for everyone. I had been using Zoom, I would say, last 6 years, but I never knew how to do everything, like recording, starting, how to do those
Right.
things. Because whenever I used to give my sessions in the past, it was done by the organizers. But
Okay.
last year, I learned everything from scratch because
Everything.
we had to do it ourselves, right? So it became a good learning experience, and we revised our curriculums, we revised our course syllabuses so that it is more convenient for the students, not spending too much time in front of the screen. Because
Yeah, that is the most challenging thing actually.
exactly,
So that because online screen, the screen thing, the too much of spending time on the screen as well. It affects the health. It affects the mental peace of the student. So that's the reason I asked you, what was the challenge with the mood swings of the students? I'm sure because of the fact they were not in that mood to study even at that during the lockdown. I have my own
yes,
kids. I have gone through. I've experienced that being a mother also. So
yeah, yeah.
wanted you to share your experiences about that as well.
So yeah, mood swings in terms of the students, they were not in their best of spirits sometimes, because it's not easy to be sitting in front of the screen for so many hours, doing assignments, doing work, doing classes, and then again researching for next class. So it was not easy. But yes, we collaborated. All the teachers collaborated from different universities. I collaborated with so many people from India, from UK, from US, from Dubai. So we were learning together what are the best ways to do those kind of things. So as an experience, or I would say as a collaborative learning, what we discovered was giving assignments where people were doing more self study.
Right.
I started preparing quizzes which were self-paced. So whatever sessions we were doing in the class, I was not giving them assignments in the class, but those quizzes with which they could revise later on at ease, at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, or 10 o'clock in the evening, whenever they wanted to, when they were feeling a bit better. And I think during this phase, I became more close to my students, even though I am always having that friendly thing. But as a mother, as a mentor, as an elder sister, or as a friend, we would always start the class with, "Hey, tell me your good news." I would always say, "Tell me, share your good things. What happened yesterday, or what
Right.
happened last weekend?" Something like that. So it
Absolutely.
was not because everyone was stressed. Most of the students were not here. So some were feeling great and they were like sitting like this, and some were in that kind of, as we said, mood swings. So
Yeah.
we started this ritual of celebrating the good news. And if someone is not feeling good, or someone is kind of feeling in a low key kind of a thing, I would take that person in the breakout room and make
Acha.
sure that one-to-one connection is still maintained. They don't feel that we are a group of, say, 30 people where we are just a roll number. So I make sure that if I see someone is not participating, or someone is not smiling, or someone is very quiet, to pep up that person.
Right.
So I would talk to that person in private and ask how he or she is feeling. So I think we did a lot of things with mood sessions in terms of playing games, making fun, making whatever event it was, we were celebrating the events, national days, birthdays, anything. So I think it's very important as educator to connect with your students emotionally, and
Yes.
I did that a lot during this period of time, much more than
Yes.
what I was doing when we were in class, actual face-to-face classes.
Absolutely. Since you mentioned that you today morning also you have I mean done the training session on emotional intelligence. So I'm sure you must have done some kind of sections, emotional intelligence section for your students as well. And being an academic dean, how did you handle your faculties even? Because being a dean, yes, of course. Now the responsibility is doubled up, especially during the
True,
online thing, because
true,
you have to train the faculties. That said, you have to handle them also, their
true,
stress
true.
also. So, how did you cope up with the entire situation and as well work for home too, always?
Yeah, it's not easy. It's like all about how you manage time. And again, I say emotional intelligence is a must, which really helped me. Even though I've been teaching, I've been giving training sessions on this for like last few years, but I've been practicing this a lot on myself as well, because there were certain days that I was not smiling. I was also feeling frustrated. I was always also feeling a bit angry,
Yeah,
anxious, just like sar podo apna kind of a thing. Oh my
I
God,
know.
that kind of a thing. So, yes, I had my days when I was not feeling well. So I constantly practiced being calm, being in my own space. I also need my space for some time, because when we're always giving, or when we're always on this media, whether it's social media or doing things publicly, you are like a role model. So I I kind of moved from that image. You don't have to be good all the time. You don't have to be
Right.
perfect all the time because you have the right to make mistakes. So
Right.
this is what I was learning throughout, and certain things which I did not know, I would share with my students. Hey, I don't know how to do this. Could you tell me? You know, and these
And
kids, they are much more better than us in some of the things. So this is what I learned and what I practice a lot of times: time management and accepting your failures. Like even if you are not good at something or you are a beginner at something, it's okay. It's fine. Even if you are the head of the college or even if you are the teacher, you can't know everything. And don't pose that you know everything. Whatever you're good at, just excel in that. But what you're not, leave it to the other people and learn from them, take it from them. So this, I think
wonderful.
this approach really helped me because in the beginning, I would say in the beginning, when I started my career here, I was always in a process of pleasing everyone, making sure that everyone is happy, everyone is okay with how I am doing what I am doing. But I had some really good examples like IT college. I did my graduation from IT college in Lucknow, and I was really influenced. I was really highly influenced by some of my teachers like Ahmed ma'am, ma'am Messi, Charles ma'am, the principal. And I would always see these women, you know, how they keep their calm despite the fact they were stressed.
Stressed, I know.
So this is what helped me. I would say this is what helped me a lot in this phase by practicing to be yourself, practicing to be authentic, learning from other people, learning from these role models from everywhere. But then, if you don't know something, just accept it and keep on exploring how to make it better.
Be yourself in this. In brief, I think be yourself. Actually, what you are,
Exactly,
just show
exactly.
it to the world. You don't have to showcase anything and
True,
everything.
true, true.
But
And of
I
course,
think
if sometimes you have a lot of responsibility, you know, like if you are having a, let's say, a very responsible position, you people say you can't afford to make a mistake. You know, have that faith, have that face, have that strong face. But I negate that. I'm not. I
I
say that it's not okay. You have the right to make mistake because if you're always trying to be, you know, acting or manipulating what you are
I
not
know
within, you will not be happy. You will not be
you'll not
happy.
be
So it's
happy.
very important
Yes.
that you have to be authentic and just go with the flow. Go with the flow
Actually, that's the
and keep learning.
most important. Actually, go with the
Exactly,
flow.
exactly.
And keep learning. Yes, keep learning. Very important. Otherwise, शायद हम यहाँ पे नहीं होते डॉक्टर रूबी अगर हम वो कीप लर्निंग वाला मोड नहीं ऑन रखते ना या और अभी भी ऑन है तो अदरवाइज वी
True.
वुड नॉट हैव बीन डूइंग व्हाट वी आर डूइंग टुगेदर सो
Very
तो वो
true.
राइटली so all right so I was thinking I was hearing you and I got the question in my mind since you mentioned about spending some me time so if I can ask you Dr. Ruby do you any by any chance do you meditate also meditate करते हो आप something called because everybody into meditation these days
Mhm,
तो
mhm,
आपने कभी
mhm.
try किया है meditate करना या
Yes, I did. I did इनका सदगुरु जी का inner engineering course. I did that course from Zurich. It was a four
okay
days course. I liked it, you know, to know yourself, to reinvent yourself. But as a person, I'm very like, you know, I'm not a very calm person. I can't be in one place for a long time.
okay
So yes, I do practice meditation, but not by meditating, like the actual meditation. For me, meditation is listening to music, going out in the nature. So I just sit out. I sit outside, I go in the jungle, you know, I just keep to myself. So I like those kind of things. Listening to music. Music is a
right
therapy for me. So I don't meditate with my eyes closed. I meditate with the music on, and sometimes I dance because these are the things that make me calm as a
Oh,
person.
something new to hear. You dance also. Wow. All right. Another, something unique about you, whichever I think many of us must be not be knowing it, that you dance also. So, what kind
Oh
of dance
yes,
you
I love
prefer?
dancing. I love
Ah,
dancing.
और किस तरह का डांस डॉक्टर रूबी would you like to share with us with all of us
I
actually
like
what kind of
Indian
dance
folk. I like Bollywood dance. You know,
oh
Bollywood जो typical Bollywood dances होते हैं. And in the beginning, I even taught that in Switzerland. You know, when I was
अच्छा
very new here, I was looking for job. So I would help these people who could not go to the expensive schools. You know, because here dancing schools are very
beautiful
expensive. So those who could not go to the expensive schools, so I used to teach them as a charity. And
Acha.
it was really a very good experience. I just loved it. I was very happy I did that. And even a few years ago, I started giving Bollywood lessons, just for the culture of our thing.
Oh
But
my
then, yeah, but
God.
then there were too many things happening. I would not say sacrifice, but then it had to take a backseat. It's still there. I
Yeah.
have also given Toastmasters workshop with Bollywood.
Acha.
I remember once I gave this workshop how to how to communicate with body language,
Acha.
and
Okay.
it was a Toastmasters workshop in the University of Lausanne, and I gave that workshop with dance.
Oh my God. I think Dr. Ruby मेरे
So
को ना आपके साथ एक सेशन और करना पड़ेगा to explore this side of yours actually. Very important actually for the viewers to know about this as well. I think we can work together on this side as well, basically.
sure,
Especially
I'm always in for new
wow.
things.
बस फिर तो अब देखना I will keep bothering you after this session कि how shall we take it forward because during these challenging times I think many of us need these kind of sessions which keeps us
Mhm.
entertained, which keeps us mentally relaxed also. So I'm
True,
going to
true.
connect with you for sure after the session
Definitely,
and
definitely looking forward to it.
virtually so that we can all join together on this kind of training session with Dr. Ruby Bakshi. Wow. And
Sure.
we'll give her a और आप अपना फिर ना just update your LinkedIn profile with another title as well that you are this. Oh, all right. So, Dr. Ruby, that was another good side of yours that you shared with us. Now, just wanted to ask you, how are the COVID cases in Switzerland going on? Because in India, again, the COVID cases, there is a huge increase, and I
True,
think we are
true.
going to have, we are listening in the news that Maharashtra might go for another lockdown. And I think there are
Mm-hmm.
many more countries apart from India who are into lockdown, still in the lockdown. So,
Mm-hmm.
how is
Mm-hmm.
Switzerland going on? What about the college being opened? When is the colleges? When are the colleges
Yeah,
supposed to
no, the
be?
colleges are open now. Schools are open. All
Okay,
the schools are open. Children are going to school
okay,
since a long time now.
okay.
But for the higher education, we have to do everything online. We are still practicing online. We are not going to the classroom still.
Oh, okay,
So since I would say almost last summer, we have been having classes which are completely virtual, and the COVID cases are little bit controlled, but not so much because
okay,
people are practicing social distancing, people are maintaining all the safety standards. That's the beauty here. People follow rules, people follow
wonderful.
regulations. All the children have to be wearing masks all the time when they are
Yeah,
studying. The school children, the primary and secondary education, that is open. Schools have
right.
been open for a long time now, and children have been attending classes, but they have to follow those social norms what have been enforced by
But
the
then,
law.
why higher for higher education, especially for the colleges, why they are still closed and everything is done online, and how come schools are closed? Because
It's the
still, I mean,
administration. Yeah, it's the administration that has decided like this because in the children, it's less prone to spread, and
oh,
children
okay,
are
all
maintaining
right.
those standards and it is possible. But in higher education, where there are a lot of students, it's very
Hmm.
difficult to control, it's very difficult to
Control.
make them stay away. And classrooms are
Right,
not that equipped that they can do it. So it's safer to be in the vicinity of the rooms, even in the boarding schools. They are practicing
okay,
it. So everyone is in their vicinity. They can, be either in the boarding school or back
okay.
home in their respective
All right.
countries and do it from there. Yeah,
Oh, all right.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Perfect. I mean, the condition is not that great actually. We would rather say that. But
yeah,
hopefully,
yeah.
we
But I
can only
think, but I think it's still better to be safe than be in that
save.
situation. That you are constantly thinking, what if I get COVID? What if it's
Absolutely.
gonna be longer? So it's better.
Right.
We're just following the directions from the government. And for the higher education, it's still like this. We have to practice it like this.
Wonderful. Beautiful.
But
So,
the
I mean,
restaurants are closed. All the restaurants, the
okay.
nightclubs, all those things are closed. There are
Achha.
takeaway services more. People can't eat like in the family. 5 people are okay. Outside, 10 people. Gathering of 10 people, not more. So there are no
Achha.
gatherings. There are no
No, no.
social gatherings. No grouping of people from different families is there.
Right.
So
Right.
let's say if 2 people from different houses, different families are
Yeah.
traveling in the car, so they have to be wearing the mask. So
Right.
there are a lot of things like this which are there. It's also education. Let's look at it like
Yeah,
that.
it's also
It's also
education.
education. Yeah, it's life
Absolutely.
education, what you need to do to practice to be safe.
To
And
be
that's
safe,
the reason
very
people are,
important.
yeah, that's the reason people are much, much better despite, it spreading so much, but still it's better than other countries, I would say.
I agree, very much agree. At least better than India. I would rather say, in fact, because don't know what is the why this scenario is in India. Anyways,
Hmm.
so Dr.
Hmm.
Ruby, the next question, or connect to this only. How do you see the education and life post pandemic? What is your view about it?
I would say it has really opened a lot of avenues post COVID. It has opened a lot of avenues how people are better equipped, more informed, so they can carry on with both. They can carry on with whether it's virtual or it's face to face. They can carry on with both. Now people are more prepared. There's not so much of confusion. There's not so much of emotional ups and downs which were happening back then.
Right.
So I think more and more avenues have opened in the virtual learning environment. There are a lot of businesses, a lot of training sessions which are now successfully happening like that. And I think it even opened doors for keynote speakers. Like, I would give my keynote sessions going to that country. But
Right.
now, I'm sitting here in Switzerland and I'm attending so many sessions from here. So I think that has also opened up a lot because now people have taken it in a different way. This is the new normal, I would say, and
Yes.
people have adjusted pretty well. And I don't know, Rabia, whether you have seen. I even wrote a book on this. I
Absolutely. I
happily
saw
I
that.
happily published a book on how to make it fun, whether you are in
Fun.
face to face or in virtual learning environment. So this has been really great, and I think now people will be much composed and they will
Yes.
perform better in
They will
comparison to
perform
what it
better.
was in the beginning when there was so much confusion and classes were boring. Students were not happily attending the classes; they felt it's like a punishment. But
Yes.
now, post COVID, because all the educational institutions have revised their curriculums to some
Yes.
extent, that now you are getting used to the new normal, not sitting too much in front of the screen, having a
Right.
mix of both, like,
Having a
bit of
mix of both.
reading, bit of self pace, bit of gamification. So, like, learning is becoming more like a game and fun and not something which is like a punishment for the people.
Right.
I think that's a new normal, I would say.
Wonderful. So you mean to say that life is better, so, and life is going awesome. If I'm not, if let's say
I
that that
wouldn't
is
say life is better, but I would say that life has become much more manageable now, because now we know we have been through the worst. So we are better equipped and better
right.
prepared.
Yeah, rightly said. Yes, we have seen the worst actually. So I
Exactly,
think
exactly. So I think now masses are more well prepared, whatever comes. Now we are equipped with both kind of
we are
things and we can go
we are
forward
ready to
better.
meet any challenge. Basically, we're just ready to
Exactly,
meet any
exactly.
challenge. So now I think we can ask you one more question. The thing
Sure.
is now coming to the students, right? Students, they are more focused on their career now. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you talk about the higher studies, if you talk about the college student, university students, or be it the school students, even for example, 8th, 9th, 10th, post pandemic, I'm sure that right, the way you have said that more opportunities have opened. But do you really think so, Dr. Ruby, that the whatever opportunities we have now will help students to choose a better kind of career, or they will still face the challenges? What do you feel as a academic dean? What do you have to say about it?
See, I would just say that, things evolve. Things evolve with passage of time. And just to correct, I am now playing the role of an educationist. I'm not the dean. Since 6 years, I stepped down and I'm playing role
Okay,
of more of, giving these sessions. I'm working in the university, giving more sessions because now my priorities have changed. My children are in a stage that they need more of me. So now I'm
okay,
not the dean. I started my career here as a dean, and now
right,
since last 6 years, I think it was 2015. Since 6 years that I stepped down, so I'm more of a. That's why I call myself educationist. So
educationist, yes,
yes, so I think challenges are always going to be there. It's never that students won't have. It totally depends on where you are located. So if let's say if you're in a developing country, students will always have the challenge. They will always have the challenge of those struggles of finding the right kind of job,
Right.
because it's never going to be the same. Like right now, students are really struggling a lot to find jobs in all domains, whether it's hospitality, whether it's corporate,
Totally
banking,
agree.
any industry. They are struggling to find the job because
Agree.
nothing is working. The whole economy is kind of shaky. It's in doldrums.
I
But
agree.
yes, because of COVID, everyone is prepared well. Everyone has seen, as I said, has seen the worst. So yes, it's preparing them more how to be more stronger. But of course, having said that, the time has come now that people need to bring about a change in their mindset. Gone are the days when
Mindsets.
people would say, especially in India, especially in developing countries, it's still there that you have to choose something which is good, like being in profession of a doctor, or for girls
Yeah.
choosing a career like teacher, nurses. It was very, very, I would say, gender specific. So I think now people are coming out of that bubble. They are
Right.
becoming more and more open. It doesn't matter, girls have to go for pink and boys have to go for blue. I think अब world काफी evolve हो गया है.
हो गया.
So the challenges will always be there, but now world is much more focused and much more better prepared. I think even the parents, now
Yeah.
I think they should not be pressurizing their children कि तुम्हें इतने number लाने ही हैं, तुम्हें
बिल्कुल
100%
सही.
लाना ही है. Whatever he gets, he should be happy in what he's doing, and he should be given a choice of the career that he or she wants to take. So I think once the
Right.
mindset changes, once we educate ourselves as parents, and
Ourselves.
once we educate the society in general, things will become much easier. Challenges will be there, but things will be easier for the children, because बच्चों के ऊपर बहुत प्रेशर होता है, बच्चों के ऊपर बहुत
Agree.
ज्यादा एक वो होता है कि you have to do this, you have to prove yourself. I think that needs to
Agree.
change, and once that changes, the challenges, anyways, they will be able to conquer them, because बच्चे तो fighter होते हैं. They'll be able to fight it out when they have the right kind of education.
Absolutely. Very right, very right. Right kind of education is very, very must for each and every child of our world, actually, every child of our world. And
Very
mothers
true.
like you, I'm sure, अगर आपके जैसी mothers और आपके जैसी strict teachers होंगी, for sure, student will work upon them and students will not lack anywhere, actually. And
Rabi, I'm not a strict teacher.
स्ट्रिक्ट मतलब स्ट्रिक्ट का मतलब ये था मेरा कि नहीं करना है तो करना ही है कुछ भी
Yeah,
ऐसे
yeah.
गिव अप वाला एटीट्यूड नहीं है
I
वी
think I
कांट
think as
गिव अप
educators, yeah, I think as educators we have to be consistent. We have to be
कंसिस्टेंट
consistent. We definitely have to be working together with our students.
टुगेदर
Whatever role you want to play, whatever role you want to play as an educator, as a trainer, as a mother, sister,
मदर्स
mentor, जो भी role लेना चाहते हो अपने students के साथ में, you have to motivate them. You have to play
या
with them at times. You have to be silly with them at times, and sometimes you have
यस
to learn with them.
लर्न
So
विद
I think if this happens, automatically the student-teacher gap needs to be lessened more. There should not be that gap,
राइट
because I remember when I was in school, we would be in awe of our teachers, but हमें डर लगता था. We couldn't approach our
हाँ
teachers. We were always like, oh my, ma'am, that kind of thing, or sir, sir.
अग्री
That was like a big thing. But
बिग थिंग
now that is changing, because that's what cultural shock
यस
I faced when I came to Switzerland, because people were so close. They would say, hey, Ruby, hi, Ruby, like this.
हाँ
So I was like, are they talking to me like this because they don't respect me? Or
राइट
because
राइट
I'm so young that they don't respect in that way, that they respect some other teacher. I had that in
राइट
mind, because coming from India, it was not very clear.
राइट
It was more of a cultural thing. So I think once we are able to be buddies with our students,
यस
automatically things will be better. Like, they should take of learning as fun thing. They should be motivated to come to the classes, not be scared
राइट
of their teacher.
scared
Because
the
once that
very good
scare is
word
gone,
actually.
yeah, yeah, once
Yeah,
that scare is gone, once that fear is gone, automatically then learning is fun.
learning
So
is
if
fun.
you see, I'm always telling this, learning is fun when teachers and students are together and doing it
Together.
together like a buddy thing.
Absolutely. Beautifully said. I love this statement that be buddy with your student. Seriously, I love this statement, okay, Ruby. Okay, I know we are have short of time, but I still want to ask you one more question, Dr. Ruby. You mentioned that you are now educating, you stepped down from academic team, and the reason was obviously for your own kids, which is a priority always. But
Mhm.
how did you handle yourself? I mean, I'm sure in career when women are we people are now more career focused. So when we have achieved that kind of level, how
Hmm.
was it difficult for you to come down to a level of one, maybe one level or level one, two level? How did you manage to do that basically?
That's really a very very good question, Rabia, and thank you for asking that question. Um, yes, it was not easy. It was not easy, but having tasted success very early in life, I would say, becoming a principal of a college when I was under 25, becoming the dean when I was under 30. So having tasted those kind of successes so young in life, I think I was preparing myself for something more meaningful, something more significant. So for
Okay.
me, titles don't matter so much. I am a person who thinks in giving and sharing. And family has always been my number one priority. I've never worked full time. Even when I was a dean of a college, I would always be working 50%, 50% with my family. So when my children were home, I was home. So
Wonderful.
for me, family is number one, and it will always be. And
How
I think as
beautiful.
as a mother, we need to do that. These kind of sacrifice. I would not call it sacrifice. I would call it like way of taking care of your family more,
Exactly. Exactly.
because we
Right.
always say what is your mother tongue. We never say what is your father tongue to the children.
Father tongue.
So I think
Father
mother has
tongue,
a
mother
stronger
tongue. क्या
role.
बात
Yeah.
है?
मदर
Yes.
हैज अ स्ट्रॉन्गर रोल. वो बच्चों को जन्म देती है, बच्चों को इस दुनिया में लाती है, और फिर बच्चों का उसे पूरी तरह से ख्याल रखना है. बिकॉज अगर आप बच्चों को ला के जन्म दे के सोचो मेरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी खत्म, मैंने अपना काम कर दिया,
नहीं,
इट्स नॉट सो.
बिल्कुल
यू
नहीं,
हैव टू बी
बिल्कुल
विद
नहीं.
देम. एंड आई थिंक स्पेशली इफ यू आर इन अ फॉरेन कंट्री, आपका रोल ज्यादा हो जाता है, बिकॉज यू हैव टू गिव योर वैल्यूज ऑल्सो टू द चिल्ड्रन. So it was a very
Yes.
conscious decision I took at that point of time by stepping down and going for something else. And then these doors opened because all these things, my career as a keynote speaker, TEDx speaker, becoming a global ambassador, and all these
Global
different
ambassador.
ambassadors and different chairpersons, it all started after that when I stepped down from playing a career innings, academic innings
Right.
at a higher level. Uske baad ye innings start ho gayi because I had more time. I was giving
Yeah.
whatever time I had to give to my children, and then I had more time. So I started doing more humanitarian jobs,
Humanitarian.
humanitarian works, just to reach out to the people wherever I could help and be of help to
Beautiful.
them.
Just so beautiful. Just so beautiful. I mean, kitna, I mean, to be honest, Dr. Ruby, I think many of us look forward towards you being an inspiration, being a role model for all of us, for the women especially. How did you handle your, career as well as your role as a mother also side by side? And that was too well and very inspiring journey. I would rather say very motivational journey and encouragement also that it's not a sacrifice for a mother, but basically family is a priority and family should be a priority, no doubt about it. At the same point of time, we should look forward toward what best we can do for the humanity. So
True.
wow, just beautiful. I can only say because this is the only word I can remember as of now at this time. But yes, I would like to invite you for another session, being a role model as a mother for all of us. So, I mean, being a share your journey as a mother as well. But that would be one day for sure. I am going to invite you so that as mothers, because at the same time, if you say that mothers, educators, we have a similar role to play for the students. अगर
Very
as you
true.
said कि अगर आप अपने स्टूडेंट्स को एक वो बॉन्डिंग नहीं दोगे एज अ बडी नहीं बनोगे एक वो मदरली फीलिंग टच नहीं होगा तो
True.
they won't learn and they won't get connected to you basically.
Very true.
So एक
Very true.
motherly feeling बहुत important है and for this only I will be inviting you for another session on this platform.
No, Rabia, that's really very. आपने बहुत अच्छी बात ये बोली. Role of mother is very very strong. Like my mother has been my role model from the very very beginning.
Right,
I would
right.
always see how she behaves in the office. She was like a big star. She was working in a
Ah,
corporate office and she was really a big star. But when she would come home, she was a mom. She would never show
ah,
her that I am the general manager of this
yeah,
organization. She never had that, even though at office she was concerned. So I would always think when I grow up, I would like to be like her, having that charisma, having that charm, but still being the soft mother, to her
being the
children.
soft mother.
So I'm just like,
Yes,
I mean,
very important.
I think we children, we are always watching our parents, whatever they do. And mothers, especially, all the daughters are reflection of how the mother is. They see you,
Actually,
they copy you, they want to be
yes,
like you.
I can vouch for it actually, being a mother of two young daughters, so I can vouch for
Wow.
it. Yes. So yes, of course. Just wait for my invite and accept that invite again to be on my platform again. The title would be the role of a mother, the role as a mother.
Definitely,
So
I look forward to that.
beautiful. But it was a wonderful session, Dr. Ruby. And I would like to thank all our viewers also for staying with us for so long to hear the encouraging and motivational story of Dr. Ruby Bakshi. How did she become an educator? What made her came down to from an academic dean and to educationist, and what was her all achievement at such a young stage, and how did she handle the situation during pandemic, how did she handle the situation during pandemic at her home and work from home as well. So that was beautiful story shared by Dr. Ruby Bakshi. And you'll be able to watch the live YouTube session. You can check out on the my YouTube page and again listen to the story of Dr. Ruby Bakshi. So stay tuned with that, because of the fact we'll be coming back up with another guest next week, a very inspirational guest. So just stay tuned. Thank you, Dr. Ruby, once again for being with us today and sharing the beautiful words as a role as a mother, role as an educator, and how women can be so strong, beautiful, and your achievements. Yes,
Thank you. Thank you
multi
so much, Rabia. Thank you. Thank you,
multi
Rabia. Thank you so much for inviting me and giving me this platform to share my story with everyone. I'm really happy to be here.
anytime.
Thank you. Thank you
Anytime.
so much.
Dr. Robin, let me just tell you, you can, it's not a must that you have to get an invite from me to be on this platform. If you ever want to share anything, just click, ask me, just message me. I'm just a call away. Be there on the platform to share any information, to share any piece of journey of yours with them.
Great. I'll look forward to it.
Thank you.
All
Wonderful.
right. Take
Wonderful.
care. Bye bye.
Take
Stay
care.
safe.
Have a good day. You too. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye.